Welcome everybody to Extreme Power No Handling, and today we're taking a look at the 2020 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. Now I'm fully aware this is the third Japanese car that I've had in a row on this series, but I found the two previous cars to be really rather interesting in terms of what they could or can't do. Obviously one of them was an SUV in the form of the FJ40 from Toyota, and then we had the Nissan Fairlady Z. So, and yeah, there were two very different cars, and they were reasonably close in terms of their times as well. So yeah, trying this out because it's a more modern Japanese car, obviously, and yeah, we've had big trucks from America as well already on this series, so figured we'd give a Japanese truck a spin on this series. So it's got 1022 horsepower from its standard engine, but it's now been upgraded to a 6.2 litre twin turbocharged V8 engine, and it now produces 948 pounds-feet of torque as well. Still a weighty car though at 5,719 pounds, but it still has its all-wheel drive system, so hopefully that'll keep everything in check, because it is a lot more power than it had originally. It's about 2.5 times more. And yeah, obviously it's still quite a heavy car. The speed, acceleration and launch are all fairly good, but yeah, the handling and braking is obviously way down low, because obviously it's not meant for going quick. It never was in stock form, even with near 400 horsepower, so yeah, we've got a lot more than that now. So yeah, the handling is not going to be the best here, but we have seen other trucks do reasonably well in this series. In fact, the FJ40 was quicker than the Nissan Fairlady Z, despite, you know, having way more power, but it was quicker because of the four-wheel drive, basically. No idea why I clicked yes there, but regardless, we're not interested in what the rivals can do, because we're going solo. So let's see what this car can do. So obviously it's large, it's very long, very wide, and very heavy. It's got a lot of the centre of gravity is definitely high up, and it's got quite soft suspension as well to be pliable when going off-road. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a struggle for the corners, no doubt about that. But these big powerful trucks can typically be really rather good in a straight line. This is proving that point. Obviously we don't have the most powerful engine you could give this car, but I'm wanting to try out one of these big trucks with their standard engine. And at the end of the day, 1022 horsepower is hardly a small amount of horsepower, especially compared to what it had originally. So yeah, it's still a big ask to expect even a reasonable amount of handling out of this truck with that amount of power. For now, it's doing okay. Obviously we've clipped a couple of walls, but this is because of how long and a bit ungainly this is around the corners, but it's not the worst thing that we've ever had around the corners by any means, and it certainly makes up for the handling somewhat down the straights. Just about hit 130 there. Comfortably above 100 as we go across the finish line. So yeah, 1 minute 23.450 is our first lap time. Pretty sure that's quicker than the Nissan Fairlady Z, so we're already faster than that car, but that's no surprise because that was a real, yeah, oversteery kind of vehicle, because it only had rear-wheel drive. It was very light, way more power than it had originally, so yeah, it was a little bit ungainly to keep under control that car, but it was fun. But yeah, this is definitely better control purely because of that all-wheel drive system and the amount of weight that is holding back the power of this vehicle. Because yeah, at the end of the day, more than 1,000 horsepower doesn't mean that much when you've got more than 5,700 pounds in the way of weight. So yeah, but it doesn't really slow it down in terms of acceleration. It can now do 0 to 60 in 3.546 seconds. 0 to 100 in 7.945 seconds. And given a big enough straight, this would get up to 205 miles an hour, which, yeah, I imagine in a truck like this would be quite scary, especially when it comes to eventually having to slow down. So oh dear, a fair bit of understeer there. It really does not have the best handling in the corners. But we did get a much better time there, 1 minute 20.714, nearly 3 seconds I think there, faster than our first lap time, which is quite incredible really. Didn't think it felt that fast, but evidently it did. we can do any better on this third and final lap. 132 down there. It's the fastest speed we've had with this truck. Those brakes are woeful. And to be honest, that's no surprise, because it's still dealing with a lot of weight, and therefore with the extra speed that it's got going on, it's a lot of momentum to slow down. And yeah, obviously these brakes were not meant for this kind of thing. Let's see if we can improve for a third and final time. Felt pretty quick for that corner, and yeah, we've had a major improvement again, around 3 seconds again improved, with a time of, let's see, that's the total time that we had. What was it, 1 minute 17 something I think. Yeah, 1 minute 17.394. Now that is, yeah, a good 7 or so seconds quicker than the Nissan Fairlady Z, which was hardly the slowest car that we've ever had on this series, but yeah, that managed no time of 1 minute 24.551. It's even quicker than the FJ40, which managed a time of 1 minute 22.983. And in comparison to other trucks that we've had on this series, it's far quicker than the Hummer H1 Alpha, which managed a time of 1 minute 26.553 seconds. Not as quick as the Hennessy Velociraptor 6x6 though, that was nearly 2 seconds quicker than this. More like 1.5 seconds, but still that was quicker, despite having more in the way of weight, but it did have more in the way of power as well. And where was the Ford Super Duty? That managed a time of 1 minute 24.952. So yeah, we're way up there with the best of them, quite frankly. We're certainly in the top 5 in terms of fastest cars that we've had on the series so far. So yeah, really impressed by this, despite the woeful brakes and the fact that it really did struggle to get around corners. But once you got used to how it handled, I was able to make the most of it, and yeah, as you saw in that final lap, we were able to keep going around those corners in a much better and cleaner manner. So yeah, not the best vehicle that we've had on the series in terms of how fun it is, but definitely one of the best in terms of how quick it is. So yeah, overall a surprising effort. Nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.